Hey, welcome back to the Red Path. As you may notice, we've got a special guest with us here today. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Hello, everyone. I guess a lot of you know me as Ashen Marines from Reddit or Instagram or the Discord or wherever. My name's Dara. I'm from Ireland. I've been playing World Leaders for, I think, 4 or 5 years at this point, to various levels of competitiveness and success.
And for anyone that isn't on the Reddit, Dara, you run the Sunday Tactica article almost every Sunday. I know, obviously, right now it's a bit tough. Why? What got you into doing that kind of hard competitive, trying to make the most optimized tip of the spear kind of world eaters list?
Yeah, well, I mean, so I've been playing like competitive for a while, and like I was having a good time with it, trying to make the world leaders work because I like to play like an underdog faction. But I mean, there was like a lot of talk on the subreddit all the time of people like posting lists, people asking for advice and stuff. And I was kind of just bored one time, and I was like, what if I just write up all the math behind like berserkers and stuff, and like how you can optimize them to do whatever you want them to do. And I was just like, oh, it's a good joke. And people were like, oh, this is like really interesting, and like even the mods were like, this is some good stuff, keep it up. So I just kind of picked some themes over time, just kind of rolled with what people wanted to talk about, what they wanted to hear, that kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah, I guess that got me into it, and I think it's like about a year since I started doing it, and people seem to like them. So yeah, just
Yeah,
kept at it.
I remember. I can't remember which the first one you shared to the Facebook group, because my kind of story is pretty much identical, just swapping out Reddit for Facebook.
Yeah.
I posted a couple little sort of like tactical thought posts in Facebook about a year ago as well, and people were like, "Man, this is cool!" Like, and then it's like we were just doing our own thing in two different corners of the internet, and then we merged.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess like a lot of people want to know answers and stuff, like what is competitive, what isn't. And like I would never claim to be like good or like successful, but I'm just like kind of sharing my own experience. And I always caveat that in the tacticas that I'm like, look, this is what I think, but it's not necessarily everything. Like it's just my own play style.
yeah,
And obviously there's some things that are like good for everyone, but some things are very specific.
yeah, absolutely. It's just being able to talk about something we love and being able to try and help people, right? It is, sure, it is a game of toy soldiers, but we have some insight. And again, I'm by no means a competent competitive player, but I have thoughts and theories, and I run the numbers and all that sort of stuff. And it's good to share that and kind of get that kind of like that hit of people appreciating what you do, and especially when your plans come to fruition, and like people are like, man, I tried that list out or that advice you gave me, and I completely mopped up my opponent's meta army. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, I mean that's the most rewarding thing, when someone's like, I actually took something away from that. And like I think more recently I'm doing like unit focuses, on like things that people don't usually use, which I think is important because like there's so much redundancy in like competitive articles on the internet. Everyone's saying the same thing, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to talk about the things that people don't normally bring and be like, oh, have you tried using this?
Yeah.
Because just because someone says it's not meta doesn't mean it's not good.
Exactly. So, kind of talking about that, about hard hitting world eaters lists, we're here for a pretty specific reason today. So,
Yes.
I'm sure, yeah, right. I'm sure most people watching this are familiar with the channel and some of the events that have been going on recently. So, in our Discord chat, what was it? It was about a week ago. We've got
About that, yeah.
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 We've got a user named Possible English, and he's a very confident 40k player. I will give him that. I don't know if his
Yeah.
skill level.
I love his energy.
Oh my
He's got good energy.
Yeah,
Like.
and he can trash talk. I mean, I'll give him that. I mean, it's fairly family friendly. It's nothing over the top, but he can talk the talk. We're going to find out though if he can walk the walk, because Mr.
Yeah.
Mike P stepped up and was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's have a scrap.
Yeah, it was the old classic 1v1 me, bro.
Yeah.
An ancient call out,
Oh yes.
But yeah, I mean, what a challenger for Possible as well. Of all the people to challenge him, Mike P, you know?
Yeah. And like Mike, for anyone who doesn't know, he blogs on warphammer.com. It's a phenomenal blog. It focuses mostly on demons because that's kind of his primary army. But he's been diving into World Eaters, and I know he's a very strong ITC competitive player. Was he one of the? I think he was top 15 demons player for the
top
whole
five.
year. Top five. Okay, yeah.
He did really well with demons.
Yeah, I've read a lot of his articles. Whilst I don't play demons, chaos in general is obviously something we're all going to be wanting to stay on the edge of, because maybe summoning will get good when we get a codex. We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike is accredited, qualified, competitive player. So Possible might
the
be
man
the
can he makes the numbers work, you know.
Yes.
Like he's had good success since picking up the World Eaters. Like
yes.
he writes a lot of lists kind of in the same vein that I write my lists. So I'm a huge fan of his style of play. You know, it really echoes a lot of things I do as well. And I'm really excited to see when the tournament circuit starts back up. You know, can he take it to like some big events, and how would he do?
Yeah, I think when we get past all this Corona stuff, I'm looking forward to challenging yourself, Mike. There's a few other players who we've been discussing in like the competitive channel and stuff. There's some interesting ideas. Like, we're going to need games, we're going to need practical experience, we're going to need to be running against strong lists. But I think with strong players, especially very experienced competitive players like Mike, I don't know. I'm hopeful, and you know what? I haven't played TTS yet. I've tried, but I can't get it. I can't, get my head around it. I think if it comes down to it, I may step up as well at some point. But
that could be an interesting one, See, maybe I could challenge you. We could have a big fight off there.
Well, let's come back to that a little bit later, because we may have some words on that one. But for right now, I'm gonna jump into Mike's list first. Because obviously we agreed beforehand that I would look at Mike's list and you were going to look at Possible English's list and kind of give our thoughts. We're going to look at what we think the strongest part of the list is, any potential weaknesses for the list, and then kind of give it a general rating, like a 1 to 10 scale. Like obviously it's World Eaters, it's not going to be top table LVO, but within a World Eaters, or at least majority of the list World Eaters, a kind of 1 to 10 rating. So let me just
go for it.
Pull up my notes. Now, on the screen, I will find a way to actually put the list, probably covering my face, but I'll figure that in the post-editing. So Mike's list is a World Eaters Battalion and a Word Bearers Patrol. It's about 90% points World Eaters, so we're going to let it slide. We're going to let it slide.
He's been adamant on that 90%.
Yes, yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. And, his Warlord is a World Eater. And from a narrative perspective, Word Bearers make a great ally. I've always said that whilst I run pure World Eaters, if you're going to ally, that kind of whole Argyle Tau Khan, the whole Armatura thing, there's narrative support there.
Yeah, you got the whole Shadow Crusade written about that,
Yes, we're gonna let this one slide. I'm okay with it, Mike.
For now.
Don't worry. Just for now, yeah. We're going to change the rules coming up, but for now you're okay. So Mike's list, I'm not going to go into every detail because it is on the screen, hopefully. But in essence, he's running 2 Dark Apostles, which I think is an interesting move, not something I'd do, but he's an experienced player. He's going with the Benediction from -1 to hit on a chosen unit, and also the Illusory Supplication, which is the 5-up Invuln bubble, which is incredible. I can't fault him there. I'm not going to even try. He's also running Khan, which I think is basically a must-take at the moment. Not as a...
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Because right. Karn was not in favor at all.
Yeah.
In 8th.
No, he wasn't.
Everyone was like, "Why would you take Karn?" And now everyone's like, "Why wouldn't you take Karn?" Yeah. But nothing has changed.
No. Well, here, I'm going to toot my own horn here a little bit. Back when I was actually writing my Tactica kind of articles, I was pushing Khan. I was like, look, he's terrible in combat, but he re-rolls all failed hits. He's one of 2 characters for Chaos Space Marines that do that. I would run like 3 Predators or Obliterators or something, whatever the firepower we could use. He's a babysitter. It's completely unthematic, but in a competitive environment, you have to put that aside. So I think
Totally, yeah.
I think it kind of got through, and obviously, you know, I wasn't the originator of that idea, but I pushed it. I used my platform.
Well,
use Karn.
You say that, but it was actually your suggestion that put me back onto using Karn.
Okay,
Because I remember I was chatting with my roommates about it, and I was kind of being like, oh, you know, there's this guy, the Red Path, you know, he says Karn might be good. And I was like, whatever, you know, I'll take him out. I'll see what he does. And then I was like, damn, this guy's good.
Right? It's
you know?
the efficiency.
And now he's in all my lists.
Yeah, just 115 points and full rerolls.
So cheap.
Yeah.
So cheap.
And normally that kind of thing, outside of someone like Gilliman or whatever, it's like, it's an easy target for an enemy. No one wants to charge Khan. No one. I don't care. Mortarion is going to think twice about charging Khan, because if he doesn't finish him, he's going to take
I mean,
a beating.
if you spike hard on the invulns, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yes,
That's the thing.
he's a glass cannon, but you just need a little luck with him. So,
Totally,
yeah. So, okay, and then here's what I love about this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 squads of Berserkers. 6 squads. It's not 8, but it's 6.
It's good. Yeah,
oh,
I love it.
I do. It's a brave move, Mike, and I love it. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mike's the big fan of going hard, you know, on the combat element of the world leaders. I respect that a lot.
Yes.
You know, it's it's when you drown your enemy in like small MSU berserker squads. Oof, it's annoying to deal with.
Oh
you know?
And I can see good terrain depending on how the turn drops and everything else. It could just be wave after wave of just death coming. But we'll see.
And I mean, there's so much to be said for staggering those waves of berserkers, you know?
Yes.
If you void them all out at once, it's so easy to lift them.
Yeah.
But like if you bring out maybe 2 or 4 units, and then you introduce another 2 in the next turn, man, that's just such a nightmare.
And it allows you to prioritize your CP stinks when you stick in veterans on the long war on them and -1 AP and all. It just gives you so many options. And I want to point out that he is absolutely following the true path here of sticking a lightning claw and a chainsword on the champion in 5 of the 6, and I'm guessing the 6 is probably due to points, maybe model available. Well, no, it's TTS, so yeah, I'm gonna guess it's 100%.
Probably just points, yeah.
Yep. So then,
huge fan of that.
Yeah, it's right now 100%. Next, we've got a huge blob of Terminator Red Butchers. I want to make sure it's 10, 3, 6, 9. Yep, a 10 blob, Lightning Claw, Combi Bolter, except the champion is a Chain Fist Combi Bolter.
Yep, beautiful.
So, he's destroying anything he touches with that, assuming he touches it.
Yep. I mean, I don't think we need to tell people what the Red Butchers do. They are the unit.
They are absolutely a must-take, as many as you can legally squeeze into a list. And you know what? If you have to squeeze in a couple illegally, I'm going to be okay with it. I'm just saying. No, don't do that, kids. And here, the next set, the Fast Attack, this is where, whilst our Berserkers are amazing, whilst our Red Butchers are amazing, whilst we have some good HQ options, especially if they're played in a competitive level, I think the Raptors, and he's got 3 blobs of Raptors here, that for me is like, it's our one unit right now. No, it doesn't kill everything it touches. No, it doesn't win the game in one combat phase, much like Red Butchers might be able to do. But the versatility, when you couple board size, the need to score objectives, being able to push a line forward and lay traps and move block, Raptors for me have just completely filled a hole that World Eaters had. And he's running a number 1, a blob of 10, all pistol sword with a power fist on the champion, and then 2 blobs of 5, which are all sword pistol. We know where at least I would guess 3 CP is being spent before the game.
Yeah, the apoplectic frenzy, right?
Yes.
I mean, Raptors are fantastic. It's you put it perfectly when you said like they fill that like gap that was in our lists. You know.
Yeah.
There's very very little they can't do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And they do their roles so well.
Yeah. They're I was actually discussing with someone recently. about Warp Talons versus Raptors. And Warp Talons is a Raptor model or chassis of a Raptor with 2 lightning claws. It's the same points plus 10 points for 2 lightning claws. And okay, so that should also be efficient, regardless of the inefficiency of the second lightning claw. But the Raptors, it's their points. If they were another 10 points, they'd be good, but you might consider them a little less. If you added another 15, 20 points on a squad of Raptors, I don't think we'd be talking about them.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only reason Raptors have suddenly exploded into favor is because they got that points reduction, right?
Yes.
So now they're cheap and they're useful.
Yes.
But the issue with Warp Talons is you pay for, this 5+ invulnerable save, which is average, and you pay for the ability to ignore Overwatch, which isn't
a thing, really.
Pointless,
Yeah.
Like, you're paying for something that was a great rule in 8th edition.
Yeah.
Like, back at the end of 8th, Warp Talons were in every single one of my lists,
with
I was
that
always bringing 10.
7-inch charge,
7-inch charge rerollable.
You could make it 6
it was
as well,
so good.
couldn't you? I
think you could, yeah. So I had it at 6s because I had my Violent Urgency Lord and the Host Raptorial.
Yep.
I mean, that was great. Like, I took that to fairly good success at my last events of 8th. But, now there's just no point to bring them, really.
There isn't. I think a Codex is going to jump them up because they have to modify the ability of Overwatch. I think they're going to change them.
Yeah.
But that's a discussion for another time. So
totally,
we've got 3 Rhinos. Nothing really. We know exactly what's going on there. 6 squads of Berserkers and 3 Rhinos. And then, if anyone sees a hard cut here, I lost connection briefly, but we're back in. So I made the point about the Warp Talons. Then the next part, we've got 3 Rhinos, 6 squads of Berserkers and 3 Rhinos. We know what's going on there. The thing, and I'm going to pass this on to you, he has a Hellblade. Tell us about the Hellblade, please.
The Hellblade's my baby,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see last Sunday, I had Tactica on the Hellblades on Reddit. They're so good. There's so much to be said for them. Like, I could talk for a long time about them, but yeah, they're just so good at kind of doing the same thing as Raptors, where they just go somewhere. They be really annoying. And yeah, they just put in work. They have good firepower. Plink damage, as I always say, is really useful in our lists. But yeah, they put in so much work. Now, Mike's only bringing 1. I like to use 2.
Understandable.
But yeah, they're just a really efficient unit for their points.
Yeah, and I read your article when you posted it, and you've talked about it a lot, or talked about the unit a lot. But I read your article and I went straight onto Forge World, and they were unavailable, and I'm like, well, thankfully, because I don't necessarily need to spend a couple $100 on Forge World. But I was like, man, that you made a convert of me. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and then let's just go over the final section of this list. We've got the oh, looks like you've dropped.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think I dropped there.
Okay,
yeah.
I've got you back. I can hear you. You're static on the screen, but that should kick back in a minute. So as long as you can hear me, we're good. So the final part of the list is the Word Bearer's Patrol. He has spent 1 CP to have an additional relic here. I'll go back over the Warlord trait and stuff in a second. He's got a Sorcerer in Terminator armor with the Malefic Tome, which, if you're running Word Bearers, we know you're going to be bringing that, especially allied to World Eaters, because you get +1 to cast and an additional Psychic Power. So Psychic Powers are Prescience and Warp Time. Warp Time is always chosen if you're running an allied Sorcerer. For me, it was always, if I was writing a list with that, the second power would be either Prescience or Death X, because removing those invulns can be absolutely critical. But he's chosen Infernal Gaze as a 3rd power here. So that is, I know from the old book, Warp Charge 5, and it's 3 dice, and it's a mortal wound on a 4+ on a visible target with an 18. So he's
not bad.
Yeah, he's doubling up on the ability to stick out mortal wounds. Okay, that's his choice. He knows more.
And I mean, if he wants that Death X at any point, he can just Chaos Familiar, for 1 CP and get that Death X.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's really solid.
Yeah. Yep. And just a squad of cultists to make the patrol legal. The Terminator is equipped with a 4-sword and combi bolter, and has Mark of Zinch for whatever relevance that will have. And just to quickly note, he on one of the Dark Apostles, the one with Illusory Supplication, he's put Violent Urgency, so we're going to be getting +1 to advances and charges with anyone within that bubble, who will always be in that bubble because of the 5-up invuln, and the Banner of Rage to... So we are going to be having more dice than even TTS can handle, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I love the Banner of Rage. It's like, it's one of those ones that like a lot of people don't go for it, but it's really good if you use it right. You know, it's really hard to use it right. I think you have to pick like the perfect time.
Absolutely.
But when it goes off, it's huge.
Yeah. Of all the relics we have access to, obviously Gorefather and the Berserker Glaive generally be the more popular ones. I tend to stick to those. But I recently was looking more at the Banner of Rage, and at first I discounted it because we've already got attacks. But then, with the way 9th is going, we have a lot of attacks. But I think we're going to need a few more. So, as a kind of unique relic that actually acts as a buff rather than just making Hero Hammer, I absolutely see the role for it. And as much as Mike loves his Dark Apostles, it makes sense.
Yeah, totally agree. So
I'm not going to go too much into what I expect the strategy of this list will be. I think it kind of speaks for itself, and I don't want to jump the gun a bit. I did mention about how he probably may spend 3 CP on the Raptors. Thinking about it, I think he'll definitely spend 1. He may be considering actually deep striking the other 2 for late game objective grabs, but we'll see. So let me finish off this. So out of 10, within the confines of a World Eaters list, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because I cannot find a fault in any part of it, World Eaters wise, but I cannot give you a 10, Mike, because it is not pure World Eaters. That's it. If you just got rid of that sorcerer, I know it'd make part of the list not function as you want. Sorry, mate, I can't do it. You can't get a 10. It's like, that's how it is. Sorry. All right, Dara.
Very fair.
Yeah, right. Would you like to walk us through Possible English's list? And
yes.
I will.
No
I
problem.
will have his list running on the screen, but go ahead and give us the summaries as you see
Yeah,
fit.
cool. So we start off with a battalion of World Leaders. So there's a stratagem been paid here for an extra relic. So we start off with a Chaos Lord and Terminator armor. He's got the Violent Urgency Warlord trait. He has a Chain Axe, which becomes Gorefather, and a Combi Bolter. So, pretty standard Warlord.
Yep.
We have an Exalted Champion who has a Combi Bolter and Power Fist. I like the Power Fist on the Exalted Champion. If you're going to give him a weapon, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And we have Karn, which is, as we said, Karn's Karn,
Yep.
So for the troops, it's an interesting one, because we have a squad of Chaos Space Marines, a 5-man squad with just bolters. Interesting choice there.
Yeah.
We have a Berserker squad then, which is, it looks like 9 Berserkers with Chain Axe and Chainsword, and the Sergeant has a Lightning Claw and a Power Fist, which, that to me is...
Hold on. A Lightning Claw and a Power Fist?
Okay.
Okay.
It's abstract.
Okay.
It's abstract.
Okay.
Then we have another Berserker squad. The Sergeant here has 2 Lightning Claws, and we have another 8 Berserkers with Chain Axe, Chainsword.
Okay.
Which is, like, one of the things about bringing a big blob of Berserkers like that is when you want to put stratagems on them, it means a lot more.
Yes.
Because it's a lot more guys.
Yes. Yeah, that efficiency just, it catapults the efficiency. It's like a cumulative effect, I guess.
Yeah, the question is, like, is it worth it when you have, like, a lot of other things to consider, like blast, morale, coherency. There are a lot of extra things you need to think about. The coherency, like low-key, is actually a big issue. I found that when I brought the bigger blobs.
Okay.
But yeah, so then we have the Terminator squad. So the Red Butchers here looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again. So these guys all have Combi Melta and Lightning Claw, except for the Sergeant who has a Combi Bolter and a Chain Fist.
Okay.
So that is a really heavy hitting squad,
Yes.
Like 9 Melta shots, that
Yeah.
could hurt.
Yes, and then you follow that up with the charge. Yeah, that's something I in my most recent list, or one of my most recent lists. It was the anti-Mortarian list, which I'm reevaluating now anyway. But as soon as those numbers for Morty dropped, I was like, okay, what can we do? We need we need the equivalent of 3 Eradicator squads, which we can't do. Okay, 10 Terminators, Lightning Claw, Combi Melter. What's the damage output? And it's horrendous. If even with without any kind of re-rolls or any additional stratagems, they're killing most heavy vehicles easily and then charging something else and destroying it. So
Totally. Yeah.
I see the meta value of it.
The damage ceiling is huge. You know,
my God,
I would say there's very few things apart from maybe Mortarion or a Shard of the Catan that can actually stand up to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like crazy damage output.
Yes.
I'll be interested to see where exactly the meltas go in this list. You know, Mike doesn't have a lot of vehicles.
Yeah.
But they could certainly destroy the Hellblade.
Yeah.
That would make me sad. So then we have 2 Rhinos, which I assume the Berserkers will just slot into those nicely. Then we move to the patrol detachment, which is the spicy one.
Okay.
So we have a Black Legion patrol here.
Okay.
So we have Abaddon the Disposal. We have a Sorcerer who has Diabolic Strength. He has a Force Axe. He has a Jump Pack. He also has a Lightning Claw, and he has the Sightless Helm. And he's taking Warp Time on that guy as well.
What does the Sightless Helm do? Do you know?
So the Sightless Helm, it makes your ballistic skill worse, which is irrelevant.
Yeah.
But I think it improves all your combat weapons. I think it's like extra AP and strength.
Okay.
So, you know,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, is it worth paying a CP for that is the question.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
We may be just students about to learn from the master. We're going to have to find
that
out.
is what we're being led to believe.
Yes.
But it's, I mean, see, the thing is, you're already spending a lot of CP in this list pre-game, right? Because you're buying the extra patrol, you're buying your Red Butchers.
Yep.
Now you're paying for a relic as well.
Yep.
That relic could be another Veterans of the Long War instead.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, moving on from, and like obviously Abaddon is great. You know, we don't need to talk about him. He's another Karen. He's a beast. Like.
Just let me ask you quick. Abaddon. I know his morale benefit affects all Chaos units, correct? Mm-hmm. But his rerolls will only affect Black Legion units.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that is the one thing. I mean, he will make those Berserkers fearless. I'm pretty sure, which is nice.
Yeah.
And obviously he'll be giving rerolls to his own guys. So for the troops in this patrol, we have 10 cultists.
Yep.
You know, cultists are cultists.
Yep.
And then we have 2 decimators with 2 soul burners each, which is that's the spice.
Black Legion decimators with Abaddon re-rolling all hits, and they've got a BS of 3. And,
they do. Yep.
And so, all right. So Mike's list, he's going to have -1 on a flyer. And a potential other -1 from one of his apostles on a Rhino or an HQ or Raptor Terminator squad. He's got a plan, but Abaddon is essentially going to be, depending on how English decides to focus his mortal wounds there, completely bypassing that effectively, like with a small small modifier. But the
I mean, the Sorcerer has prescience as well, right? So he can just negate that on one of them.
Yes.
And the thing about the Decimators is they will just spit mortal wounds at you.
Yes.
I really like them. I think Decimators are one of the units that people are sleeping on right now.
Yeah.
It's actually, they're going to be my next Tactica focus. I'll be talking a lot about the Decimators.
Oh, well.
Now, I don't know if necessarily the Soul Burner is the best weapon for them. Okay. I think it's a really, really good weapon.
Yeah.
But it might not be the best one.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. I like them in 8th. I don't physically own any, but I proxied them a couple of times, and I liked them. Okay, put it like this. I'm going to wait and see your Tactica, and I'm going to try to make sure that I only read it when Decimators are out of stock on Forge World. Because you're quite convincing.
It seems to be the best way to do it.
Yeah, you're quite convincing, and I'm sure maybe you've got a contract with Forge World because
A lot of people seem to think so.
Yeah.
All my
it's
favorite
possible.
units are forge roll selections, you know.
Completely understandable. There's some great stuff there.
Yeah.
So is that his list? The entirety of his list?
That is his list, yeah.
Oh,
So it's an interesting one. Like he's got the World Eaters, Warlords. We'd love
yes.
to see that, you know.
Absolutely.
And he's got Gorefather, which we love to see as well.
Yep.
So somehow 3 of Angron's axes have made it onto the battlefield today. So we have 2 Gore children and their Gorefather.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that's fine. I guess it's within the rules of the game. So
yeah, totally.
On that kind of rough scale of 1 to 10, where do you place this one?
I would say I'm putting this at a surface glance now. I'm putting this about a 7.5.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. Like I personally, it's a 7.5 for myself. You know, like I don't play the same way as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't like those big berserker blobs. I would much prefer if they were, instead of like 2 big squads, you know, 4 small squads like Mike's running.
Yeah.
I love the utility of that style. I'm not sure if paying the extra CP is worth it on the sightless helm. That's one of the other kind of downsides for me. And then, like, while I like the multi-meltas on the Red Butchers, like, my problem is not their damage output, which is obviously fantastic. My problem is every time one of them dies, that's a lot of points. And that's a lot of your own output that's going away.
Yeah.
So, like, I try and keep my Red Butchers, like, cheap and cheerful myself, because, like, they're only 2 wounds a pop right now. It's not hard to lift them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if Mike charges into those Red Butchers with, like, his own Red Butchers, they will still kill them, you know?
Yeah, like with his lightning claws, whoever charges who there, the lightning claws are taking you to a 4-up save. I mean, short of depending on any terrain rules that are going on, it's going to be a 4-up save, and the amount of the reroll wounds, the potential reroll to hits depending on what characters are nearby or any other buffs that are currently on them. One squad hits, the other squad is probably dead or going to be reduced to being insignificant and not worth even spending an interrupt on. So.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I'll be shocked if the squads charge each other and one survives.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I don't really see, like, there's very few things in the game the Red Butchers don't destroy.
Exactly.
Very, very few things.
Yeah. Okay. So now we've gone over the list. We need to just go over a few administrative details for the game. Obviously, the game is set to stream Monday, which, depending on when I get this uploaded, is either tomorrow, tonight, or in 5 minutes. I don't know. But we're aiming to start the stream at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is East Coast of the United States, which is 8 p.m. GMT, or for the majority of the UK. I don't... Yeah, we're out of British summertime now, I think, over there.
Yes,
yeah,
I think so.
I know when I speak to my family on the phone, I have to figure out. Yeah, oh yeah, of course we're out of BST, but there's like a week's rollover where UK stays, and there's only 4 hours difference, and I always wake someone up when I call them at home. Anyways, so that's the time zones. I will put some, when I upload this, I'll have kind of a staggered list for other parts of the world, other common time zones like Pacific, whatever the hell Australia uses, and all these things. But that is going to be Monday, the 1st of March, at some point, depending on where you live. I will put the stream up about probably half an hour before the game goes live, and I'll just have like a splash screen going, just that way people can jump in the chat, start getting some hype going.
Sounds great.
I was hoping to have my Discord and my YouTube chat linked, but I'm a complete idiot and cannot work it out. I'm using my Restream bot and everything. Nothing's working. So for anyone who wants to be, like trash talking or following the chat, asking us questions while we're commentating, the YouTube chat is going to be probably the best place to do it, because I know I can stream that. And the mission. So we talked about this before, obviously. We are going with Scorched Earth from the GT pack. I'll put a better map on screen, but it's this one here. The old Dawn of War deployment. We've got 6 objectives, and you can read all the details yourself at home. Looks like I've lost Dara.
I have returns.
Oh, you're back? Okay.
I think my connection dropped out there.
Okay, no worries.
Yes, yeah, all good.
Okay, I was just talking about the mission, and how we're using Scorched
Sweet,
Earth.
yeah, very good.
Yep, this one here, but I'll put details in the description and hopefully have a better graphic over the screen when I actually post this.
Awesome.
I talked about the mission, talked about the date and time, talked about the YouTube chat. So,
perfect.
I think, is that everything, or did we have anything else we wanted to talk about?
I think we might have one more cheeky thing to drop on everyone. Something a little bit exciting.
A little bit exciting, a little bit cheeky. Yes, you know what? I think we do. Do you want to step off here? Do you want to give the first thoughts on this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can roll this into it. So, yeah, I suppose we were both talking a little bit ago about, uniting the community across like the YouTube, across Facebook, across the subreddit and stuff. So, yeah, myself and Jamie, we came up with this cool little idea where we're going to, I guess in a sense, this game on Monday, it's a test bed, right, for what we have coming down the store. So, yeah, we're going to pit the Red Path YouTube against the World Eaters subreddit. So, people to rise up. I mean, this is totally biased, right? Because this is on your YouTube, and I have to like bring my own guys. But yeah, so we're going to. I mean, so like the main thing is like this whole thing's for charity, right?
Yes.
So we're doing this like big initiative where the subreddit comes up with a list, the Red Path YouTube comes up with a list, and they fight each other on TTS. I guess we'll probably commentate that one. It's probably going to be the most hype game of the year.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, I suppose if you want to talk about the details exactly, work away.
Okay. Hopefully, it looks like I'm out of focus here a minute, so apologies.
I think the hype was too much.
Yeah, just like the nails got to me there. It should autofocus here in a second, but let me bring up my notes here. So yes, as Dara just said, we want to get this. We want some competition to be used as a vehicle to bring communities together. We're starting off with the World Eaters. We want to have World Eater versus World Eater. We'll have 4 World Eaters armies fighting each other if we have to. And yeah, at least to start off, I'll be streaming it on the Red Path. I'm not taking any personal ownership out of this, but I just have a platform that can do it. That's essentially it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest way to do it, right?
Yeah. And where we also talked about, oh man, this is very frustrating. I don't have a autofocus button because we're using Discord to record this. Anyway, so what we talked about also, before I jump into more specific details, we want to get our World Eaters fighting each other, some YouTube on Reddit action, bring Facebook groups in, whatever other World Eaters communities are out there that want to do something like we're doing, want to join in, so we can find the champion of the pit. So we're going to have the Delvarus Award. It's Delvarus, I believe, not Delvarius.
Delvarus, yeah,
Delvarus,
my man.
Yeah, who anyone who's read Betrayer or any of the Horus Heresy books that feature World Eaters will know that Delvarus was essentially unbeaten in the pits, in the fighting pits of the Conqueror, until one Latara Sarin decided to shoot him in the head, and
I love that so much, dude.
It's brilliant. But then
it's like, why did you go onto the planet? He's like, I was so angry, I guess.
But then obviously some of the less aggressive World Eaters, if that's a possibility, stepped up, had a back, and then took Delvarus down a couple notches in the pit. So he did finally lose, but until that point he was unbeaten. So we're going to have the Delvarus Award for the top World Eater player who runs a pure World Eaters list, pure 100% World Eaters list, against another.
No messing around in this one.
No, this is pure bragging rights here. The pure World Eaters list, and then the other community will bring a pure World Eaters list. And the way we're going to do this, within the Red Path Discord, for example, we're going to nominate a champion. We're going to find a player who is competent with TTS, who has some chops competitive gaming wise, who is willing to do it, and we're going as a community, as the Red Path community, we're going to come up with our own list. I don't know if it's going to end up being hard hitting, or it might just be berserker spam, foot slogging berserkers, who knows, but we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to give a list to be played. We're going to work it out, and then you're going to do pretty much the same thing over on your subreddit. I know you've talked about it with the other mods over there. And
yeah, so we'll probably do it either on the Discord for the subreddit, or we'll do it on the subreddit itself, or probably both. I'm not sure exactly. But yeah, we're gonna work on that over. Like the exact details need to be ironed out. Obviously, you know, this is the core idea.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun, I think. You know, and it can unite the community. And like, obviously, while this is our idea, you know, we're not championing the lists. We're not writing the lists. This is just a way for us to bring everyone together. You know.
Yeah.
And just have a good time.
Yeah, and that's what it's about as a player. It is enjoyment and community spirit, but like you mentioned, we've also got this charity element to it. We as followers of the channel will know, like, charity is something that I'm kind of big on us being part of, with the blood drive for the blood god, for instance, which is still going on. Go donate some blood or some money, everyone, do it for now. Anyway, so one of the things we want to do is each army, each team is going to pick a charity, and charity, that's up to that team to discuss amongst themselves and pick a charity within your community. So YouTube and then Reddit for right now, we're going to raise money. Whichever team raises the most money for their chosen charity, that team will basically go into a prize pool, and I'm going to provide a prize for that. And it'll be, so if Reddit raises however, you know, the most amount of money, couple $100, $500, whatever it ends up being for their charity, everyone who donated from that Reddit is going to go into a random drawing, and I'm going to provide a prize. Now, I do have a pretty cool prize in mind. Working out some details with another subscriber, actually, just because timelines and everything else. But I'm pretty hopeful it's going to be something pretty badass and pretty fitting.
I think a lot of people are going to want it.
Yo, I think so too. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But I'm not going to say too much because Discord users probably have an idea, but everyone else.
Yeah, just wait on that one.
Yeah,
you know,
it's going to be something you want. You want to be engaged in. So if you can donate $1 to a charity, you're in with a chance of a very cool prize. The winner of the actual game in our 1v1 here is essentially winning bragging rights. There's not going to be any, financial gain for them. It's just they are Delvaris. They are the champion of Khorne. They are the chosen. If it happens to be a Red Path member, as someone fighting for the Red Path, I'm going to create a unique role for them in Discord so they can have a cool color with their name so everyone knows that they're the badass. However, if they lose a game, they will lose that. So it's not
straight away.
Like next week they fight.
I'm fully anticipating like the next week Mike P will just be like, yeah, cool, I want it.
Exactly, right. So let's see. Delvaris Award, and then so as to when the event is going to take place, we're still ironing out the details on that. We need to engage our communities, really kind of discuss this some more. And sorry everyone for the out of focus, I finally got it fixed. So the event itself will be we haven't ironed out a date for that. We still need to engage with our communities to discuss lists and everything else, but this is essentially a formal invitation to everyone on the World Eaters subreddit and everyone who follows the my YouTube channel. If you are a TTS player who wants to basically be known as the baddest, assest World Eaters player on TTS, at least, until we can, safely go back to some real tournaments and stuff, we're opening up the pit.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even if you don't have TTS or, you can't use it or whatever, like the whole process of writing the list is going to be a community event. It's not going to be, as we said, one of us writes the list and it's like, here it is. It's going to be a lot more like, hey, do we want to use this unit in the list? Or like maybe someone will have a suggestion of like, I really want to try this. And we're like, yeah, let's do it,
Yeah.
I mean, I, for one, am hoping the subreddit will be using a Mastodon or a Brass Scorpion. I want something big.
Yes.
But and I mean, like, why not, right? Because it's TTS. There's literally no limit.
Right.
Yeah, so I really want us to bring a Mastodon, but it's up to the gang, you know. So do we all want the Mastodon? Who's inside it?
Maybe we both
You
pick
know,
a
that's the thing.
Mastodon. Just
Yeah, we could make them charge each other.
that would be amazing.
But yeah, like the sky's the limit, you know.
Yeah.
So we can get really creative because we don't have to be worried about optimizing the list because like
Right,
it's
yeah.
only going up against another world leader list, and
Yeah.
as we all know, world leaders are rubbish. So
Right, yeah.
it should be an easy game, right?
Yeah, of course. Whoever loses, we win. So
Yeah, fact. So yeah, it's obviously the details have to be ironed out and stuff, but it's gonna be fun, and these like Monday Night Massacre games are going to lead up to it as well, which is
Yes.
you know, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. And as I mentioned kind of at the beginning of this segment, obviously we're starting off with World Eaters versus World Eaters with a kind of soft aim of joining our communities. Looks like you've gone again, Dara, but I'm going to keep talking.
I can see you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
you're good.
cool. All right. So we want to kind of slowly gel all our World Eaters communities together and build up each other, you know, share ideas, share our cool works in progress, our paint in progress, our tournament progress, any theory hammer, you know, because had you not have shared your Tactica to the Facebook group, it's possible we may never have communicated. And you know, your knowledge and the kind of content that's in the Reddit is such a great resource. Like I've learned a hell of a lot from your Tacticas, and I know a lot of the Red Path, you know, subscribers. I know they read them as well, and like you know, it's just it's
I think
great.
I'm gone again.
I can hear you. I can't see you. I don't know if you can hear or see me though. But
Oh, back now.
you're back. Okay. I'm just spewing a diatribe, so I'll just carry on. Your face will start moving again in a minute. But yeah, joining these communities, bringing us all together. So yes, I get.
Yeah, I mean, like we all play World Eaters, right?
Exactly.
You know, that's the thing. So it doesn't matter if you come from a Facebook group or from the subreddit or like wherever the hell you come from. Like we're all playing World Eaters. We're all having a good time in the hobby. So like, there's no reason for us not to be connected. You know, not to hang out.
We're all pledged to the blood god. So you know, we all all serve corn. So let's all come together, join hands, and decapitate people together. I mean, it's nice and wholesome.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it like speaks on like a micro level, but a macro level as well. You know, like we can reach out to Chaos Space Marine players, just 40k players in general. Like it's all part of the hobby, you know. It doesn't matter, you know, what subgroup of the hobby you're in. There's no reason why you can't connect with another one.
Yeah, and something. This is more of a personal thing. I think we may have talked about this before. Once we've had a few bouts in the pit, and you know, a champion finds their way to the top and is consistently the holder of the Delvaris Award. I think we need to find an Emperor's Children community, and we need to challenge them, and we need to show the Emperor's Children that those prissy, you know, their well-maintained armor, their beautiful flowing hair does not a warrior make. And I think we need to...
I mean, there's a couple of things from, is it Scaliothrax that are still unresolved, you know?
Yes. There's
got some issues to work out there.
We've got a grudge to settle. We are... Their
Yeah,
skulls
I mean,
are worthy.
Yeah, they're top on the list, you know, of groups to take out next.
Yeah. I think we carve our way through the Chaos Legions, you know. We'll let them survive because they can all follow Khorne, except, you know, Emperor's Children, Death Guard, and Thousand Suns, but we can use.
We hit the Thousand Suns before they get their new codex as well, so we can actually beat them, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, like, and then we will lead the charge for Chaos, and then we'll bring the Imperium down together as a big happy family of chaotic, slightly veered towards Khorne maniacs. I think it's just a pleasant way to drive this year forwards. I think we may have lost you again, but I will carry on, and hopefully you drop back in shortly. Essentially that wraps up this video. I'm not sure how long it is. I've got some editing to do to make sure it looks good for all you folks at home who are watching, but hopefully you come on tomorrow or today, depending on what you watch, that to check out the the Monday Night Massacre between Mike and possibly. It looks like you're back, Dara.
I have returned.
All right, sorry.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, my connection is dropping like crazy.
No, that's fine.
We shouldn't have this problem on Monday, though, because it'll just be voice. So.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, did we mention that you and I are going to commentate the match? I can't remember if we said so.
I think we did, but if we didn't, there you go.
Yeah, we're just going to be headless voices, just talking about the game.
Yep.
But yeah, I was just wrapping up the video here. So Monday Night Massacre. Cool. If you're watching this, make sure you follow the channel or join the Discord or hit up the Reddit somewhere where you'll kind of remember, because we want everyone to come in and yell from the sidelines and scream skulls for the skull throne and do everything else. Just go crazy.
Have a good time.
Yeah, we're here. If you can sit at home and drink a beer or drink a soda or whatever you want to do, we want to give you a performance, and hopefully we can bring some interesting commentary to what I'm sure is going to be an absolute massacre of a game.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. There's been enough trash talk at this point, I'm like, all right, I want to put your money where your mouth is,
We need to see a casualty, a head on a spike, I think. But yes,
facts, yeah.
So hopefully, if you're watching this, you're pumped up and hyped to come and see the Monday Night Massacre on Monday night. And okay, I think that about wraps it up. So
awesome.
Thank you for being here, Dara. I really appreciate you taking the time. It's good.
Yeah, it was great.
It's great to talk to you, because we've been messaging each other and chatting on our different platforms for quite a while, and it's really good. And hopefully, I can have you back on in the coming weeks, and we can do some discussions. Totally. I know we've had a few conversations about some other stuff, but I'm not even. I'm not even.
Might be something in the pipe.
Yeah, there might be a little something. But really appreciate you being here, and I want to thank everybody.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. I want to thank everybody for watching the video, for following the channel. Go, if you haven't already, because I know you're a Red Path watcher. If you're watching this, go check out the Reddit, the subreddit. There will definitely be a link in the description. You got to go there. You absolutely, if nothing else, you need to follow the tactical articles that Dara, who posts as Ashen Marines on the Reddit and also in our Discord. You need to check his stuff out. It's top tier stuff. It gives so much insight that even someone I'm quite heavily invested and consider myself a competent World Eaters player, but I every time I read one, I learn something, and it's a must read for any World Eaters player, even if you're not competitive. He'll sell you on buying a cool new model that you can paint. Like he's
I should really be a rep, right?
Yeah. Oh no, not a rep. You're a shill for Games Workshop and Forge World. But
totally, man, totally. I appreciate that, though. Thank you. I'm always happy to help out. And like, I mean, if anyone wants to shoot me a message or whatever, ask me about something specific, like people do it from the odd time, don't be afraid of that. I'm more than happy to, chat you through a list or whatever that you want. Just let me know.
Awesome. And if anyone, just to finally close that out, you're also a pretty decent painter. I mean, listen, guys, you need to.
I don't know, man.
No. Check him out on Instagram as well. I will. I'm going to put that in the comments because, it's phenomenal. There's such a huge amount of awesome painters in my Discord community that I've highlighted a few in the past. But I hate you because you managed to combine tactical brilliance and hobby brilliance together, and it's super frustrating. But yeah,
I don't know, man. There's a lot of good painters out there. I'm honored that you think so.
But yeah, it's kind of got the Renaissance man thing going. So I'm super jealous, but everyone, you need to check it out. I know you're a commission painter, and I know you've got a huge backlog right now, which is a good thing. But if we can get a couple more people on the waiting list for you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I got lots to do at the minute, but hopefully someday I'll get back to painting my World Eaters.
Hey, it's all good. All right, folks, I think we're gonna close it here. So as ever, stay healthy, stay safe, and kill main button.